Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Imran, and in today's video we're going to talk about wars and the question whether we can simulate wars so as to save actual precious human lives. So let's get started. On February the 24th of 2022, President Vladimir Putin of Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, which is still ongoing as I speak to you. Hundreds, if not thousands of lives have already been lost because of this war. Wars have been a part of human history since Cain and Abel. Tactics, scenarios, weapons might have changed, but what has not changed and remained absolutely consistent is our inclination to fight each other to resolve our conflicts. Men have fought for their lands, for their tribes, for their nations, as is happening today, in self-defense or to conquer and conquest. The bottom line is that we have never ever in our history stopped fighting each other. So if I say that in the near future we are going to witness more wars, I would probably not be wrong at all. Wars bring all-round destruction, whether it is psychological, physiological, financial, economical, what have you. But one of the biggest casualties of wars is the actual human life, the sacred human life, the precious human life. Parents lose their sons, wives lose their husbands, children lose their father. Why? Just because of these wars. Just because some politicians decide to wage war against a country, maybe because it suits their national interest. Maybe they are acting for the national interest of the country. And who determines what this national interest is? What is good for the country? What is bad for the country? It's all subjective. One person might think A, B, and C are good for the country, and someone else might think no, all of these three are not good for the country, but D, E, and F are good for the country. So who decides? That's problem number one. Problem number two is whether or not you decide, you come to a conclusion or a consensus about what is good for your country and what is not, about the national interest of your country. Is it logical first to go on attacking someone else and killing their people, and in the process killing your own people or letting your own people be killed? I mean, it's like about losing human lives. It's not a game, it's not a video game or something. But what I'm proposing here is actually a video game. The question that I'm trying to pose here is this: can we come up with a computer simulation of a battlefield scenario or a war, full-scale war, in which the attributes, the variables are all fed to the computer program, and we can fight? I mean, the people can fight, the people, the stakeholders of the two nations who are at war with each other can fight that war in that virtual simulation, in that virtual universe, as the catchphrase these days is, the Metaverse. Can they fight their actual wars in this virtual universe and come to a conclusion about who wins and who loses? Just think about it for a moment. What happens in an actual war? Who wins the war? Isn't it the one who is more powerful, who has the military might, the intelligence, the cutting edge technology? I mean, all of these things, the equipment, tanks, ships, fighter jets, missiles, and all of that, air to air, surface to air, air to surface, anti-tank, anti-aircraft missiles, right? Then there are the people who operate these machines, the fighter jet pilots, the ship captains, the submarine captains, the foot soldiers, the artillery, the naval forces, the air force, all of them, the people who manage or control or operate these machines, they are the second variable, if the first variable is our equipment or war machinery. Their skills, their practice hours, their expertise, their technological edge are all factors that decide the outcomes of the wars, right? So my question is, can we not feed all of this information into this big simulation program that we have created, just like a video game, and all these attributes, all these war machinery, all of this arsenal that a nation possesses to fight a war, can't we load all of this information into this program and then let these very people who are in the army personnel, let them play this game? I would use the term play this game or operate this simulation. Let them be in control of this simulation. Let the fighter jet pilots fly their F-22 Raptors in this simulation. We can make their fighter jets, their missiles, their tanks, whatever have you, as powerful or as weak as they are in real life. and as many in number as they actually possess in their actual physical arsenal. Say, for example, if Russia is at war with Ukraine right now, we can have it fed into the simulation. We can have we can input the information into the simulation about all the machinery that both of these countries have, the number of fighter jets, the number of missiles, the number of tanks and everything, number of submarines and everything. And then we can let these army personnel from both camps go into this simulation and fight each other, whether in one-on-one scenarios, or 5-on-5 scenarios, or 10-on-10 scenarios, or 100-on-100 scenarios, whatever the supercomputers that will be used for this video game of sorts allows us to do, right? So it's more like how we play games like Battlefield or this Counter-Strike with strategies. We have a map, and there are two teams, terrorists and counter-terrorists, right? And then they go into this map, and then they play each other, and then they have tactics and everything. They have ammunition, they have rifles and everything. So we can feed this information into the system, and then we can make these operators or these controllers from both sides, the both stakeholders of the war, let them go head to head in this simulation instead of fighting the actual battle and losing lives. Yes, it is going to be a tough project. Yes, we're going to require hundreds, if not thousands, of software programmers, developers, designers, and all of these technical people to build this simulation and work in coordination to build this simulation. And then we might need supercomputers to run this simulation. But if all the countries come together for this noble cause, which could be a noble cause, I'm just trying to dream big here, and I know it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I know that. But if all the countries come together and think about this thing and provide their best people for the job and give the funds required to build this project, I don't see why this is not possible. And I don't see why people or countries around the world won't come on a table and sit together for a convention like a Geneva Convention we have in the history, and come together and agree on the terms of how to play in this video game, how to engage in this virtual warfare in a metaverse, in a virtual universe, right? I mean, millions of soldiers have been brutally killed in the prime of their years when they are young. And what have wars ever given us except for misery, absolute misery? The financial crisis that the world, that the nation faces, the sanctions from other countries as Russia is going to face now. So, and the loss of lives, that's a big thing. And who really is a winner? I think in this game of war, there's always a loser and a bigger loser. Thank you for watching the video and staying till the end. If like me you love thinking outside the box, please consider subscribing to the channel for similar videos. And I would really appreciate it if you would press that like button. It really helps me. Until next time, this is Imran signing off.